Hey, welcome, welcome to Road
That was
Testament.
the first joke. Don't say hey.
Leo Parente's here on Road Testament. I'm Mike Spinelli. Hit us up on @Drive on Twitter. Today we're going to be talking about something that we would normally have asked you beforehand, and then you would have contributed, and we would have read your contributions. But today you're going to answer the question, because you've answered this question before. I know you have.
And
right?
the question is?
The question is, what's the most fun car to drive, most fun slow car to drive fast?
Yeah, and actually this kind of started, we were talking, my new best friend, Dario Franchitti.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. Actually, he mentioned he bought a 458 Ferrari and sold it almost immediately because while it was a great car, on the road, he couldn't use any of the potential.
Right.
So we got into this whole discussion of what's more fun to drive on the road. And
Right.
here we are with the topic, slow car fast or fast car slow
Exactly,
on the road.
but since, everybody has done this but us. So that's why we're doing it today, because screw it. It's
Yeah.
fun, and
So
there
after-
are a million cars that we could be talking
And we're
about.
going to hang around and give you maybe 5 of our own, and then after that, you can give us your additions to the list.
Exactly.
See, that is kind of like,
And it's an endless list. I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
100 of these lists, and there's still more. that
so
are
my
left
criteria, it becomes
Yes.
more qualitative. It's not big horsepower.
No.
Okay, but it's an engine that buzzes and gives you a little rev. Balanced, neutral type handling. I really don't care about how good or bad the brakes are, because I just want to carry speed.
Right.
And I want a lot of lateral G's, which
Okay.
I'm sure we'll talk about that eventually.
All right, so for me, I prefer a little bit more torque. Although I love, I like the high revving, where you want to really wind an engine
You're a
up.
hot rodder. to
But
get off
I
the
like
corner.
small torquey engines, because that's bouncing out of a corner is always fun with that. Brakes, obviously, I don't care about. Obviously, neutral handling.
Okay.
Brakes, I don't care about. I mean, as long as the thing stops. Usually, these are fairly light cars we're talking about. And I don't care as much about lateral grip.
Ooh.
Don't.
Well, you're of the BRZ fan.
Well, that's the thing.
So what's our first car? What's our
Okay,
first slow car fast?
let's just go right at it. For me, it starts in the 80s with the Porsche 944. It's got the super neutral handling, amazing handling, amazing steering. But speaking of slow, Porsche 944, I mean, what was it, 10 seconds to 60?
Yeah.
83, 84, 85.
But again, I don't
Slow.
care. I don't care about accelerating from stop. I just want to know
Right.
how I can drive.
The only thing that it maybe has a little too much lateral grip for oppo moments.
For what? Opposite lock? Oh, the Chris Harris
Sorry,
moment?
I'm throwing that for the Chris Harris moment. Now it's called the Chris Harris moment.
And I, no offense, Chris, I never want to enjoy the Chris Harris moment deliberately.
Right,
I'll
because
save it.
as a racer, I'm just saying, you probably have a different outlook.
So my first 2 cars were, and I'm showing my age a little bit, but first one is the Fiat X19. Okay, now there's no
The
power.
wedge, the wedge shape. Yeah.
There's no power. I'm not sure how many lateral G's, but it was just very neutral handling. You toss it into a corner, it would stick and go. The brakes were okay, but it was all about carrying momentum. I love that. And it was the right size. Nice little tight package. Hit the gearbox, it would do its rev thing. It would be fine. The next one is the old original MR2, the origami one.
Okay, so you're going to just go ahead and give me your whole list?
No,
or
I put those 2 together.
Okay. Oh, I get it. All
That's
right.
the type of thing where
I will give you that.
less mass than your 944.
Gotcha.
And lateral G's. The MR2 had a ton of lateral G's.
Right.
So I was okay with those cars.
Cool. I sort of did this a little bit in order of fun.
Okay.
From worst to worst. I mean, this from less best to best.
Best.
The next Chevy Chevette.
Are you freaking...
Chevy Chevette or Vauxhall Chevette. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you got to sell me that, because all I can envision is you trying to slalom on the light poles at a Home Depot.
By the way, all right. So yes. First of all,
Yes.
Second, the steering obviously doesn't rise to the level of the
This was the
944.
Vega. This was the next generation Vega.
Next generation
in my
Vega,
mind.
rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Very super light.
Tramp axle.
Right, and don't forget,
By the way, that's not a name of a date.
Tramp axle.
I think I dated her. Tramp axle.
axle.
Right. Okay, go ahead. Or a band. It's a band.
Tramp axle.
Tonight at the Roxy. Sorry, go ahead.
Tramp axle. Where the hell was I?
I'm channeling Mike Spinelli.
And by the way,
so Chevette. Why do you think that was a good car?
The Chevette wasn't a good car. It was a fun car to drive fast. as fast as you could drive it.
Okay.
Because it was very neutral. And by the way, ask, I'm not sure who did it, but ask anyone who rallied a Vauxhall Chevette back in the 80s. Yeah, of course.
They actually did?
Yes, they did.
Wow. That beats. I was just reminding myself that I worked for Toyota, and I had for a while the rear drive Tercel.
Oh, yes.
The equivalent of the
equivalent.
Chevette?
All right, yeah.
Okay, same
yeah.
thing. You're
same
right.
Thing, right?
Tossable. Tossable car.
A tossable car.
Got it.
By the way, also, when the Fiero got its first subframe, in the front, that was from the Chevette.
Chevette?
Yes.
I knew I liked Fiero.
Exactly. All right, go ahead. What's next?
Speaking of,
Okay.
GM.
GM.
Cosworth Vega. Twin cam.
Wow, the first double overhead cam in
Yeah,
GM's, I think in GM's history, right?
I think so, because we were talking about the Pontiac overhead cam
Was
straight
single,
six
yes.
was single cam.
Yeah.
So they went to Cosworth.
Okay, but it was
Revvy car.
I mean, it wasn't technically because it wasn't built in America. I mean, that engine wasn't built in America.
No.
It was built
I
in
think
the
it was
UK.
and imported in and assembled in Lordstown.
Yeah.
With union help. And then rusting with American rain. And it wasn't quick, but it was revvy and fast and handled.
It was Lee Iacocca's answer to the BMW 1600.
Lee Iacocca.
Not Lee Iacocca. I'm sorry. Jeez, what the
Bobby
hell
Lutz?
is wrong with me? No.
Dennis Leary?
No. John DeLorean.
Yes.
John DeLorean's answer to the BMW 1600.
That was actually unconscious, subliminal. Keep going.
Okay, that's where you are?
Yeah, I'm done with that one. What's next?
Okay, I'm going to go also the late, what is it, the Mark 7 Mini Cooper.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Lincoln.
The Lincoln Mark 7. Yeah, actually,
the
that's...
Mini Cooper?
Yes.
Well, you and I were in a car.
Yes, we had a fun time. We drove back to New York from Monticello on a very weird, rainy evening in it was a 97, 99.
It was kind of refurbished. It was a mini resto mod.
Well, right. It's the Rover. Yeah, the Rover Minis.
But it was
right?
cool.
1.3 liter fuel injected.
Yeah.
But still very mini, with the bus steering wheel.
Yeah, no, you.
And I'm
changing
I had
lanes,
a ball.
carving corners.
Yeah. And we had a ball.
Motor.
We kept up with all those knuckleheads
cool.
in the whatever they were driving, the guys we were with. So yeah, no, that thing is it's definitely, and probably 0 to 60 in 12 seconds.
Okay.
But whatever,
So I'm going to go contemporary finally.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the rent-a-car I had in Detroit this past weekend.
Okay.
The Ford Focus, the current Ford Focus.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. It had an automatic
Wait,
transmission.
the latest
new one,
model.
The latest
new
gen.
one. Oh, okay. Right.
The brakes were good. The car cornered fantastic.
Lots of lateral grip for you?
I'd had more than enough for that little car. And I love the deceptive part of it's just a normal car to carry people. But it was kind of doing the cornering thing really well. You touch a brake a little to make it not be a front drive car. And that gearbox that everyone hated, it was not a manual, it was a rent-a-car.
That's my question, because I actually haven't driven the new Focus.
So I heard everything bad about it. And I'm not saying I was brilliant with it, but if you just move your throttle foot a little bit when it was anticipating the shift, it made a seamless shift. Bottom line, it was not a bad car.
Yeah.
And we were going quick. It's not called a fast car. It's not a performance car. But it was fun to drive and do the off-ramp thing.
But enough to be on your list.
And it made my list.
Wow, interesting.
I think Ford's got the handling figured out in their cars. They're feeling more European.
Right. I'm going to throw in a brand new car, too.
Yay.
Well, and it feels really obvious, but it's the Subaru BRZ Scion FRS.
Yeah, but you got to go with it.
You got to go with it.
Exactly what they're talking about.
Because it is it's like they looked at a list of the cars that people like us always yammer on about, and they went and built the modern version of that.
Now, here comes my fight.
Okay.
Okay, because even Toyota and Subaru are making a big deal about low grip to get the cornering sensation, be able to have a lot of slip angle.
Well, they're also low rolling resistance. They're the same tires that they're on the Prius V.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Or the other one.
But they're trying to market it as, see, you can drift the car.
But Michelin, right,
and slide the car.
But it's not right, and they're not those crappy like big wheel tires like that used to be the rolling resistance. I mean, they've come a long way. Michelin actually has come a really long way with those tires. All right, but you're right. Okay,
Despite the Cadillac ad in the front of our shows that showed the G meter only going to 0.46, and I know the car does more, I want a car that can arc through that corner at a high limit of Gs. And I don't think that that's a problem in a road car. That's part of the fun. So to have a low coefficient of friction, to feel like, oh, I'm having fun because I'm steering at 0.46. I don't want that.
Right, but a slow car is not going to get you around the track or around, let's say, a course any quicker.
Yes, it will. If I'm
Well, I mean, it will. I'm
G's
sorry.
than you,
That's a stupid thing to say. You're right. It is. It will relatively faster. Right. You're right. But if it's about fun.
Oh, I'm having more
You're
fun.
having more fun getting that corner right.
I'm having more fun in
it
the off ramp at 0.7, 0.8 than you
Yes.
are at 0.46. In my mind. Because I know I'm going.
Why do I have to go 0.46? Where'd you get me down?
Because Cadillac told me that's as far as I can go.
So I can only do
my
0.46?
My next
All
car.
right, go ahead. Go ahead. Next.
So when we went to the Nürburgring, we were in an Audi A3 TDI turbo diesel.
Okay.
Every time I talk about that car, everyone slams me for how can you enjoy a diesel?
Right.
You mentioned the buzzword, the magic word earlier, torque.
Yeah.
I was little Alan McNish coming off every goddamn corner, just banging the thing, accelerating out.
But so I mean, I guess that's technically a slow car, though, even though it's pretty. It's not.
You know, I mean, if we talk
quick.
about fast cars like GT500s and Camaro,
Right.
those are the classic fast cars.
Right.
My version of slow car is just that, something you wouldn't expect to be quick, an everyday-ish type car.
Right.
You mentioned, 10 seconds acceleration. I'm sure this wasn't at 4s and 5s and 3s, but
Right,
it felt like a
probably
fun
true.
car. It was a fun car to drive fast.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the 6s, but still, okay. Yeah. All right. I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. I'm at the top of my list right now. Is that the top of your list? Or you didn't do yours in order?
No, hell no.
Oh, all right. Anyway, I'm at the top of my list. The BMW E30 318 IS.
Good. I'm going to look for the picture because I never know what these E's and I's are.
By the way, that's and it's at the very top. Best steering, next to Porsche, best steering, best handling,
Yeah.
best cornering, most fun, little slow.
Totally on board. So I'm going to add
Crap
two
box.
more since JF is not here.
Yes.
Number one, I'm going to add the one to my list.
Okay.
When I worked at Ford, they introduced the first Ford Fiesta front drive, that little
Yeah,
squarish one.
sure. Yeah.
That was like the Mini. That was a
But
ball
that was
to
a
drive
German.
fast.
That was a German car, right?
Yep.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
Cologne.
Yes.
Was it made? Yeah.
Very much. Very good. Very good.
I'm just saying.
And I think Bob Lutz was involved in that in his Ford days or something. Anyway,
Was that their
a ball to drive.
response to anything, or what was that about?
Now you're really testing me. It was a response to something I can't recall.
Fuel economy.
And for bringing it to America, it was to
Yeah.
fuel economy and have some
Because
personality.
that's when gas went over $1
Yep.
for the first time.
Yeah. I had one as a company car, a little orange one.
Oh, that
Manual
was a nice
transmission.
orange too. Yeah.
I was trying to learn how to rally Scandinavian flick with my company car.
Uh-huh.
They can't catch me now. Every snowbank in White Plains, New York, had the impression of the Fiesta grill. I never figured it out.
Nice.
And then my last one, the one that JF would probably mention,
Right.
Mazda Miata.
Oh, yeah.
How do you not go Miata?
That's pretty obvious. Yeah.
I know they're getting quicker.
And-
I know Chris and you talked about how they're getting heavier and more, but the original ones were cool.
Yeah. Well, they're now going to they're going to look at making them lighter. So the next one's going to be lighter.
Because they saw Drive and they commented on that Drive.
That's exactly why they did.
But we want you to add to that list.
Yeah.
What do you categorize as your favorite slow car fast to have fun driving on the road?
Right. I think there was one I wanted to add. The first gen Honda Accord. What's that? 78 to
Yeah, I can see it in my mind. It was a great car.
81. Yeah, 78 to 81. A real fun car to drive. Great engine, torquey for its size. Not real quick, but great handling.
So when you said you had something else to add, I thought you were going to mention the promo.
Oh no, the Le Mans promo. But you are the racing guy, so I figured I'd leave it to you.
So I get to do it?
Yes, you do.
All right, so Drive is going back to Le Mans. Another 25 hours of the 24-hour Le Mans live stream here from the Drive studio with all of us from Drive.
Yeah, all your favorite Drive celebrities.
And those that...
And your not so favorite Drive celebrities. But
Including-
whatever, it's
including
fine. I'll
Mike.
be there.
Yeah,
It's cool.
yeah,
It's all
yeah.
right.
And we're going to have Skypes, some reports
Yes.
from the field. We're going to have connections to the race teams
Yep.
that are there at Le Mans, the ones you like. And we're going to find out whether we break first before the 24 hours are up or the Delta Wing does.
Right, and whoever, nice, I got or whoever falls asleep first will write track positions on them in Mustard.
Who needs a telestrator? We've got Mustards and a sleeping guy.
Exactly.
So tune in, okay? It's the day of the race.
Day of the race. Anyway, that is Road Testament. Hit us up on @Drive on Twitter. Let us know slow cars to drive fast.
Give us your list.
Give us your list. You've been
Thanks.
working on it forever. I know you have. That's it.
You just can't turn off the
I
revs.
can't turn it off. Goodbye. Right? So anyway, what were we talking about before?
I'm not talking to you.
That's it.